All right. How you doing today?
At 66, Alfred Arnold considers himself lucky in a way. In September 2009, when the city of Prichard, Alabama, suddenly stopped paying pension checks to its retirees. At least he was able to work as a security guard at a mall in Mobile.
In the middle aisle here?
And this past Christmas, instead of exchanging gifts, mall employees gave all the money they would have spent on each other to Alfred and his wife Jackie.
Because they knew about the situation.
They knew about the situation and the pension. They knew we didn't have anything, we wasn't getting paid.
How did you feel?
Oh man, I was devastated. I almost cried.
Alfred Arnold was Prichard's first black firefighter. He retired after 35 years as a captain.
If I didn't retire, I might not make it the next day, going in the fire, you know. It's too strenuous, you know. So I had to retire because I had heart problems.
Jackie worked for the Prichard Police Department for 40 years and was the city's first female officer.
Well, I retired June of 2009. I think I received 2 pension checks and nothing after that. I said, we'll come up with something, but nothing ever happened.
And it had not been for my job at the mall as a security officer, we probably couldn't even eat.
After 17 months, it's come to this. The Arnolds and Prichard's other retirees want to know what's wrong with this picture. Why handouts? Why not the pensions they contributed to? The pensions state law says Prichard has to pay.
You can't draw blood from a turnip, all the colloquialisms you want to come up with. If the money's not there, we can't pay it.
Attorney Scott Williams represents the city of Prichard.
If we took all the city's money and paid it to the pensioners, we won't have money to pay for the fire department or to keep the streetlights on.
Prichard is small, 144 retirees, 27,000 residents. But what happens in Prichard is being watched by much larger cities, Chicago, Philadelphia, San Diego, to name a few, and by many states. They would all like nothing better than to dump their staggeringly underfunded pension plans.
So across the United States, there is a difference of $3 trillion between the amount of money that we have promised public employees and the amount that has been set aside.
Joshua Rao teaches finance at Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management. He's tracked the pension crisis.
Politicians are often trying to make it look like we can have our cake and eat it too. And that's created a situation where we just push the problem down the road, and now we or our kids are going to have to pay for it.
Prichard has reached the end of that road. During the 1960s and 70s, it was thriving, the fastest growing city in Alabama, its population 45,000 at its peak. Then businesses began to leave, and hard times set in for good. In 1999, its finances in shambles. The city declared bankruptcy. The pension fund was in trouble then. The city ignored a federal court order to replenish it.
We saw a letter that was dated 2008, and it was sent to members of the city council and the mayor, saying, essentially, it's going to run out of money in July 2009.
The math was pretty simple. I think the letter was basically saying something needs to be done, and it needs to be done immediately. Unfortunately, there were no real efforts.
And no penalty. City Councilman Troy Ephraim is chairman of the pension board.
I don't feel we've done everything in our power to prevent the inevitable from happening.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Famous last words being heard all over the country these days. When its pension fund did run out of money, right on schedule, what did Prichard do? It filed for bankruptcy again, this time hoping to be rid of its pension.
Was the attempt to file for bankruptcy a deliberate attempt to stall, to not solve that problem?
Yes, absolutely.
The petition was eventually thrown out of court, but it took nearly a year. During that time, no money for retirees. Since September 2009, when their pension checks stopped, Prichard has been breaking state law. But Alabama's Attorney General has done nothing about it.
Miss Nettie Banks, she was a police dispatcher, and she ended up having
file bankruptcy.
Robert Hedge represents retirees in a class action suit against the city of Prichard.
This breaks my heart right here. Huey Dossett has some serious arthritis issues, unable to work. His 73-year-old wife had to go back to work. And we've got Miss Spradlin right here, Wanda Spradlin. She's in a wheelchair. She's in pretty bad shape. She's had some strokes, and I just feel for them.
The city now owes its pensioners more than $2.5 million in back payments.
We're talking about, on average, $1,000 a month per person.
That's it.
That's it. That's the difference between buying your medications and buying food.
And then there are current employees, like Police Captain Charles Kennedy.
Because a doctor told me I had to quit.
He's 67, has had a serious heart attack and open heart surgery, but can't afford to retire.
Because if I was to leave now, I'd be like the rest of the retirees. I'd have nothing.
Kennedy is the most decorated officer on the Prichard police force.
I dedicated myself to the city. I did my part.
And that's what gets him about how the city has acted.
I did an honorable job for them. I think they owe me the same kind of respect.
Retired fire captain Alfred Arnold agrees.
It's bad enough to lose one check out of a house, but to lose two, that's devastating. You're not giving us something that we didn't earn. You're not giving us no welfare. You're giving us our money that we put in. How are we supposed to live?
These people haven't been paid in 17 months. What can you say about that?
That's not the city.
On Thursday nights at city council meetings, local reporters ambush Prichard Mayor Ron Davis.
I'm concerned about them not getting paid. I would like to see them get some payment.
Expressions of sympathy don't amount to much among the retirees who show up every week.
Pension fund did not run out of money overnight.
That's Nettie Banks, the fire dispatcher who had to declare bankruptcy. Alfred Arnold is here. Jackie Arnold is too. Captain Charles Kennedy attends when he's not working.
And 14 benefit recipients have died. All of the retirees' mental and physical health has been impacted by not receiving the monies that we are entitled to under the law.
Wanda Spradlin struggles up from her wheelchair and lets loose.
If the retirees are not getting anything, I don't think any of you should get a dime either. And then it wouldn't be long till you would know how we feel.
The mayor, with his back to the crowd, and the city council sit in stony silence.
There is a right way and a wrong way to have handled this pension crisis. In my opinion, the majority of you have chosen the wrong way.
In fact, both sides have now met with a mediator. The lawyers are trying to draft a compromise. Retirees would be paid some of the pension money they're owed, not all. That is, if they agree to what's being offered.
I will ask you to stand for a moment of silence as I read the names of the pensioners and retirees that have died since this happened.
The city knows the retirees are running out of time.
Aletha Gurley, Willie M. Richardson, Wilson Schmidt, Rex Wall, George Kemp, Farrah Lewis, Vera Early,